Hello again, friends, family, fans and followers, and welcome to my new custom-made studios for 58 Frogs. I know, it's been way too long since my last review video, and I feel so bad that I've left you hanging all this time. Truth is though, I've been suffering from this tragic condition called CBA, where I literally can't be asked doing something no matter how many people write and demand more content. I also needed to take a break. After all, the fame and fortune of my previous videos just got too much for me, and just like ABBA, I had to walk away from it all. But just as Agatha, Anti-Fridge, Bjorn and Benji have decided to make a comeback, I decided to do the same too. This is a review with a difference though, and breaking with tradition, it's not independent, so I've had to change my channel acronym slightly. So, welcome to Pete's Extraordinarily Non-Independent Survey. So, if you've got your head sorted and I haven't shafted you into a state of confusion and you've got more brains than balls, you'll realise I'm going to review something of mine. Something very personal, something that very few have had the opportunity to enjoy, despite the fact it's been out there a long time. Something that's always been there for me and given me much pleasure, when at times it's been hard. Arguably the best thing I could do with my hands and my imagination. I am, of course, talking about my music. You know, people often ask me what type of music I produce. That's a question I find very difficult to answer. It's like asking, what type of poop do you produce? It just depends what comes out on the day. Sometimes it flows smoothly and naturally. Sometimes it's hard and takes a lot of effort. Sometimes it flies out in seconds, barely giving you enough time to sit down and capture it. Other times, it's just wind and nothing happens at all. It's usually a satisfying process though, and although I haven't shared my productions with many others before, it's time to change all that. It may come as a surprise to many, but Je suis un rockstar. To the uneducated, that means I am a rock star. Just an undiscovered rock star. I released an album of my music about a year ago now, purely for my own pleasure and satisfaction, but I never promoted it. But it's still out there on Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, YouTube, Deezer, Napster and all other popular streaming services. If you have any of these, please feel free to look me up. I go by the artist name 58 Frogs, of course, and the album's called Homework. A clever title based on the fact that all the work was done at home. To date, this album has amassed 158 track listens, and surprisingly has earned me 78 cents, which is about 57p in proper money. Not quite enough to retire on yet, hence this shameless self-promotion video. So, let's get down to business. Here's a sample of what to expect, along with my non-independent review of each track. White Clouds, the opening anthem from this timeless album, and perhaps the one track I'm most proud of. That's not to say that you can stop listening after this track, because the rest are rubbish, of course. Once you're in for the duration. There's a sassy sax playing solo from the start, a whirly Wurlitzer whacking out the rhythm, and a bunky bass line bolstering up from beneath, joined by some bright brass in the background, that all collide in a collaborative chorus that chants chart success that never was. If this were on a cheese board, it would be a fully matured cheddar, strong, dependable and creamy, yet tangy. On a Friday, A funky festival of flavours, celebrating the promise of the weekend full of fun, frolicking and fun. Well, whatever else you get up to in the privacy of your own home at the weekend. It's Pinky and Perky gone punky. It's Muffin and Mule meets Buckaroo. It's Andy Pandy getting randy with Looby Loo. A blast from my past as a rebellious wannabe rocker. Purely coincidentally, this track was written on a Friday, which might explain its cheery nature, and it still cheers me to this day. Definitely a kick-ass cheese, I'd say, with chilies. I'll be fine. Written when I wasn't, but I knew I would be. So I wrote this tune to let me know that I wouldn't be not fine for long, and in fact I would be fine again. And I was right to write this tune, because shortly afterwards I was fine. And I still am. Music is great for that, as is cheese. Freak Circus, an atmospheric cheese board of rich sounds and flavours, conjuring up all the magic and drama of the circus in a freakishly curious way. You'll need more crackers than a box of Jacobs to fully savour everything that's going on here. Plenty to surprise and satisfy. A Wensleydale with cranberries, I reckon. Fruity, sweet and sharp. Colourful and contrasting. A rare treat. Five. In true Spinal Tap fashion, I wanted to go one better than the ever popular standard of 4 beats to the bar, to write a track with 5 beats to a bar to create this jazzy number. You're counting them now, aren't you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're all there. That's 25% more beats for your buck. Can't say I don't offer you value for money. It's a duet between 2 brassy synths, and my trusty Hammond organ takes centre stage for the chorus. More appreciated by the sophisticated palate. An artisan cheese, perhaps. The slow, soothing bomp, bomp, bomp of Day Trip, my original soundtrack to my most viewed video on YouTube by the same name, telling the story of one of our wonderful booze cruise hops across the channel to Guernsey, famous for its cows of course, that make creamy cheese. Monstrous thundering rock sound of Dogman, with my favourite old dirty organ sound of the infamous Hammond playing hard against the cutting synth lead. A battle of old against new, par Parmesan versus Primula, a total blast to play. If it doesn't get your foot tapping and your head banging, there's clearly something wrong with you. Have some cheese and try again. Trapped in the Machine. My least listened to track, but I'm no less proud of it, not least because of its symbolism. Slightly hypocritical of me here, but it sets the scene of how real music, played on real instruments, such as the lead piano here, is lost these days in the electronic age. Trapped in the machine of computational music, where all the feeling and finesse of real instruments are processed beyond recognition to become a plastic cheese slice on a burger. But it desperately wants to be a proper cheese. Rather sad, really. What's cooking in Hell's Kitchen? Not cheese for sure, it would get burned. One of my first compositions using brass instruments on my home recording setup. A funky little ditty, maybe inspired by decades long gone by. I tried to make this sound like a live recording of a real band playing in a smoky backroom club, and I think I've achieved it, with a sax and bass line duetting at the end as they walk out the door. Looking for some cheese, I expect. Scales. An atmospheric and dramatic start leading to a piano piece of arpeggios and running scales, interluded by some synthy strings. A track that I'd forgotten about until now. Just wanted to prove, to myself mainly, that I could still play the piano. A logical and mathematical tune, making sure that everything's slotted in just right, just like a circle of daily cheese triangles. Other cheese triangles are available. Sometimes another jaunty-angled jig, joyous, jolly and jubilant. I actually made a video to go with this one, available on YouTube under the same name. Check it out, why don't you? It's very good. I star in it. Well, my hands do, and my organ. Or should I say keyboard before your filthy mind starts sniggering? If this were a cheese, it would be squeezy cheese. On peas. Saturn, the finale. And what a taste bud exploding way to finish a debut album. The dark piano introduction bursts into a screaming lead with luscious swirling and sweeping backing, taking you into an anthemic chorus. The piano returns to dance around the rings of the core, while the mysterious deepness of space around the planet leaves you in wonderment of what lies beyond. I haven't found a cheese to compare with this. Wallace and Gromit proved that the moon was made of cheese, but Saturn? Comment below with your suggested cheese for this track. So, there you have it. A quick stroll round my debut album, Homework by 58 Frogs. Perhaps at least you'll know the answer to the question, what type of music I write? Please feel free to leave your comments below with your answers. I hope you've enjoyed it, but even if you didn't, please hit the like button below in the hope that my video might get more views. And who knows, in no time at all I could be on top of the pops. I even have an idea for a Pan's People dance routine involving cheese to accompany my music. If I could just get a few more listens to my tracks, I could maybe earn enough to get a new cheese grater, and then my life would be complete. And to stop you wondering, there is a follow-up album coming. I'm about halfway through it so far. The creative process is very slow. So please look forward to more cheese coming your way soonish. Bye!